It seems like everybody got the same memo about a week to 2 weeks ago that says, hey, it's July, bring your butt back to work, let's get going. How would you work with or coach businesses during this transition for a multitude of reasons to, I guess, develop or enhance that culture when some people may not be excited about coming back to the workplace?
Well, the first thing I would say is I'd be careful about sending that memo out. Organizations need to think about a strategy that reflects pulling the people in that need to be in the office because they can't work by themselves. It's been too hard the last year and a half. Allowing some freedom for those folks that want some introverted time, and creating flexibility for the majority of folks that really need that flexibility to function and have work-life balance. And I don't know that all organizations are thinking about that. Some have gone to, we're going to stay remote. And I think there's some problems with that. And then you have others that are saying, everybody get back in here now. And I think there's some inherent problems with that strategy. It can't be a dictate. It's got to be worked out in a more productive way. So I think it's the first thing you've got to do. The second thing is I think you have to change your mindset about what an office is for.
A lot of the things that you're talking about that are now happening very, very quickly are actually things that you have been preaching and teaching for years and years and years about improving workplace culture, about, collaboration and empathy and transparency and autonomy and growth and impact on the company. But what we've been hearing, and the phrase that I've been latching on to, is the phrase, talent is on the move.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning that employers probably used to listen to you and think, wow, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea, Brad. You know what? That Brad, he understands the way things connect together. And man, that would be great. Yes. I think that would really put our corporate image out there and make us look like a bunch of good people. Now, if you don't do that, you're going to lose a lot of the people that you used to retain simply because you were the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
You're 100% correct. You've got it coined, the great resignation, the great reshuffle. I've heard the tremendous turnover tsunami. It's happening. We've had more turnover and people quitting than we've ever had. And I don't see that I think the upsetting the apple cart in terms of turnover is going to happen not only from the employee side, but it'll also happen from the employer side. So think about this. Okay, so I think you have both forces happening. And I want you to think about the impact this is going to have. You have employees who are leaving because they want to work for some place that represents something bigger than themselves. They're leaving because they feel like they're not sharper today than they were yesterday, and they need to stay marketable because I have to work for 50 years and bring in income. They're leaving because they're mistreated. They're leaving for a variety of reasons. I have somebody I talked to today who told me about their employee who quit because they wanted more growth and they wanted to work for a company that represented their values more. And that's the reality of it. So you've got that happening. The flip side is if change happens so quickly, organizations are going to be like an accordion. They're going to expand and contract in different areas, different directions based on their needs. So you're going to have virtual teams. They're going to pop up and then they're going to disappear. So they're going to do the same thing employees are going to do. So you have two forces that have totally destroyed any connection of loyalty, retention going on at the same time. And that is the premise of why the next few years are going to be tough for a lot of companies and individuals. And I agree with you 100%.
It's benefited me in my career as far as being the person that went out there to try and find other courses they could take, find other people they could learn from, whether it be mastermind, online courses, in-person conferences and stuff like this. I think you're going to have to, like you said, have a certain amount of your budget that you're budgeting for this, whether it be time and or money, to be able to really advance your skill sets in the upcoming years.
Every day I get up and I focus on what I can learn. And I work with other experts to learn more. So I made a joke on social media, Paul, you gave me like these kudos. And I said, well, I'm smart because I hang out with smart people like you. And it was a joke, tongue in cheek, but there's truth to it. You literally, even when I started my business, I used to work for another consulting firm for about 4 to 6 weeks out of the year. And that wasn't because I needed to. It was because it was refreshing. It was a new perspective. I learned from other professionals, and I got better and stronger because of it. And people thought, why are you doing that? Well, because it's going to make me more relevant for a longer period of time.
Would you say, with everything that we've covered here today, and I know that you were referred to as, at times, as a leadership coach, as a workplace culture engagement coach, would you say that everybody needs to discover a little bit of that leader in themselves?
Absolutely. I think if we think our job is not about leadership, then we're wrong. People have gotten so caught up in career paths, which no longer are really in existence. You can make them, put them together on paper, but that's not how life works anymore. It's not clean. It's not let's go up the ladder, right? So if I think about that and I look at my contribution level, when I'm starting at a company and I'm new, I'm learning, and I can't produce a lot, which means I'm an investment to the company. I'm costing the company money. They're investing in me.
Right.
I'm learning the culture, everything else like that. Then after a little while, I have to become independent. I have to be productive. So I become an individual contributor, right? And I do that by producing. I can add more contribution by becoming a problem solver. And then I can add more contribution by becoming an innovator, right? And then if I want to even go further than that, because now I'm that's great, but if I become a leader, whether I have a leadership role or not, then I actually influence lots of people. And now I'm influencing the performance of many other people, and my contribution level and my leverage is much greater. Organizations have spent time building their brand, right? Now, people don't think about that, but you either build it or somebody else will. That is an opportunity or a dangerous thought, right? And it depends on which route you take.
So the old adage is coming around again: lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Correct. And I actually would say you can follow at times from a role standpoint, but you better always know how to lead at least yourself in the process.